Happy Wednesday. Happy day after 4th of July. Hope everybody had a very safe and fun Independence Day. If you haven't already done so, definitely check out the live that Stephanie and I did yesterday, picking out the next 6 blocks for the 2-color quilt challenge. I'll put the 2 groups, I'll put them up here, either up here or put the pictures in there somewhere, but I'll show you which ones are the 6 that we picked, and you have a week to vote on them. So check that out. It is Podcast Wednesday, so we're gonna talk about things that I've done this past week, things that I'm going to be doing in the coming week. It's stuff like, just everyday stuff I'm listening to. The check-in today is I am at 465 subs. Yay, all of you guys. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Pretty cool, crazy number. And it makes me, if I think about it too much, makes me think, oh my gosh, I'm really gonna start doing more stuff. So I try not to think about it too much, because as soon as I start stressing about it, then it's not fun, and then I don't want to do it, and blah blah blah. So just gonna keep the mindset that I talked about when I started this, of just riding the wave and seeing where it all takes me. Speaking of riding the wave, man, it is tank top weather. It is hot around here. It was 95 today. It felt like 1,000,003. Felt like the surface of the sun. It was gross. I have now heard from a couple of different friends who have had their AC units go. My aunt and uncle, their AC unit went. Like, oh my gosh. I knock on all the wood. Do not want to have to deal with having the AC out. The bedrooms are on the top floor. I mean, it's a townhouse, so it's not like the top floor is 70 feet up there, but it's still, the heat rises. Don't want any part of that. So I feel for everybody that is going through that right now. And I hope you guys get cool soon. Quilt Meets World, Russ, he's one of them. He was the first one that was talking about it, and then I've had a couple of people since then. So bummers all around. So let's see, what did I do this past week? Well, I definitely did a couple of things. Did want to talk about, I've been like, this made me feel really good. So I've been pretty open and talkative about the fact that I'm focusing on the 3 legit kits that I want to get finished on a timeline. It's Sail Away, the Mini Rose, and the Mini Scullover. And I was figuring out a timeline of, how long it will take me, because I wanted to be done before I left for my retreat in September with Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches and like that, the whole crew. It's back again. So it's been a year since we were there. So we're heading back in the middle of September. So my plan was to have all 3 of those done before going there. And it's been really sweet, because I've shared it with all of you, and you guys have been true friends, keeping me accountable. Anytime that I like hop on to say hi to somebody, folks are asking how the legit kits are going. If I'm on a live, they're asking how it's going. I really, really appreciate, like, it's so, it's a personal goal. I'm trying to work my butt off to do it, but knowing that you guys are like behind me and like pushing me along and making sure, are you doing something you're not supposed to be doing? it really means a lot. Like it makes me like excited that you guys are excited and want me to get there too. So thank you very much for everybody that checks in and make sure I am on target. And I am on target. I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule of what I'd worked out. And I think part of that is due to, one, I've been staying really focused. I did take T-quilts retreat and worked on her pattern, but I have everything cut for that, but I'm not going to sew it up until I'm done with the legit kits. It's cut and ready to go and waiting for me. But I've been staying very focused. Haven't started any new projects. In the video for the quilters slide locks, I cut fabric. Haven't put anything together. Just I did that video, and that's what I got that done, and it is too sitting and waiting for me. So that's been really good. Like staying focused, and you guys helping me stay focused has been very good to keep me going. But also, I changed things up a little bit in how I prepare to do my FPP. I have let everybody know, and it's been my thing, that I am a cut my fabrics as I go kind of person. And I started to do pre-cut, like getting all of the blocks. So if I'm doing a row for like sail away, I got all of the row, that whole row, all of the papers cut, and then went through that whole row and cut all of the fabric, boom, 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 all the fabric for all of the pieces, and pinned them to the paper, and then flew through. So at the start of it, I think I had 3 or 2.5 rows to do, and now all I have to do is finish the sailboat. With the mini rows, I did the same thing. I mean, it's only 4 blocks, but it's like 37 pieces on a block. 37 little individual units make up a block. So I did the same thing. I cut all the papers, and then cut all of the fabrics and pinned them together. And I have been flying through it. So I think that when it's something that I'm doing for fun, and I don't want to like stress myself out or feel like, time crunched or anything like that, I think I still will be a cut my fabric as I go kind of person, because I just like the relaxation of doing that, and working on staying focused on each piece, and working it from the beginning to the end. But when I need to get it done, the whole cutting the paper first thing has really ramped up my productivity. Yeah, I like that I know how to do both, and I will utilize both. But when I'm on a deadline, now I know this is definitely the way to do it. So that's what I'm going to do to get all the way through, because I haven't even touched Scullover yet. But that's my goal for when I do get to him. I'm not starting him until the other 2 are finished, and I'm just gonna pound through him. But yeah, it has definitely gotten me ahead of schedule, and I'm very excited about that. So, barring, again, I've said, life throws you curveballs, and there's no telling what can happen between now and the middle of September. So I'll do what I can, but I feel really good, really proud to be ahead of schedule and working at a pace and discovering ways to make it better and faster and work for me for what my goals are. So yay, that's a good fun share. This past weekend we we kind of had a farmer's market fail. We went to the farmer's market thinking that we would get some really great tomatoes for tomato sandwiches, and pick up, other produce and things of that nature. And it was a major farmer's market fail. The really local farmer's market, it used to be, pre-pandemic, was amazing. They, before the pandemic even, they had changed locations, and I wasn't all that excited about the location, but it was still like the same people and everything, so the stuff was still pretty good. But it is just a sad shell of what it used to be, and there was very, very little variety. So many like marketing things and things like breweries and distilleries and artists and stuff, which is cool. I love to have the variety at a farmer's market, but there was no farmers. There were no farmers. So I did get some really good cherries. The cherries were amazing. The plums were really good. So got plums too. But there were, this was kind of funny. There were 4 tomatoes, and I was walking on one side of the table and turned to show my kiddo, oh, look, the tomatoes. And this old dude came out of nowhere and was like, oh, she pointed at the tomatoes. I'm getting every one of them. Took all 4 of them. Didn't even leave one for us to even look at. I was like, alrighty. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was funny. It did make us laugh. So we're like, oh, what else do we want to do? It was hot. It was gross. But like, what else is there to do? We didn't necessarily just want to come right back home after the farmer's market failure. So we ended up going up to, there's an orchard up the road. Like, it's a ways, but it's up the road. And we started heading there. And we passed this old family restaurant that we've been to several times. My dad used to take me and my sisters there when we were kids. And we stopped and we got food there. So I had, they were calling it slippery chicken pot pie, but it was basically what my mama would make was it was chicken and dumplings, but my mama's dumplings were the slippery dumplings. They were the noodly looking kinds. But it was more, I guess where the pot pie piece came in is they had potatoes in it, and chicken and dumplings definitely didn't have potatoes in it. But it was really, really good. And we had a really good egg custard pie. The lemon meringue was good. The coconut custard wasn't all that exciting, but I haven't had pie in a while, so that was really nice. And it was fun to stop there and be all nostalgic. And they have like a really, goofy little, like, kind of like a Cracker Barrel, but not on like steroids like Cracker Barrel, but like it had a little gift shop and everything to go look at all the little tchotchke stuff. So that was fun. And then we got up to the orchard, and there we did find really good tomatoes. Had a tomato sandwich. Oh, so good. Nothing like a tomato sandwich. Got bread and butter pickles. I stocked up. I love that orchard up the road. And then we got, so this is where the major win was. We got summer sausages, but we got boar and elk summer sausages. They were out of venison. Venison sausage is one of my all-time favorite foods of ever. Love venison sausage, but they were out of that. But we got the elk and the boar, and I love to do the summer sausage with a cool mustard. So they had a mustard and horseradish combo. So we got that, had some crackers, and the sausages were really, really good. Now I can't remember which one. One was heavily peppered, and for me it kind of took away. But I think that was the elk. I think the elk was heavily peppered, and the boar was so amazing. It was incredible. But they're like this big, and they were $10. So that kept me from like immediately driving back up and getting 40 more. But they were really, really good. That was a lot of fun. So that was the gist of what we did this past week. Sunday did the brunch first thing in the morning. Then had the Legit Kits block of the month. So I'll show a picture too. Oh, but it's sitting right here. I can see it folded up. So I had crazy technical difficulties on Sunday. The audio wasn't matching up again. The pictures were really, really bad. It was Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I thought it was an update issue. It wasn't an update. I actually talked to the company of the little switcher thing I have, and it wasn't that. So I switched out the connection piece from the little switcher to my iPad, which is what runs going live onto Facebook, and tested that out tonight, and it looked really good. So I think we're good to go. I just think the little connector piece that kind of was driving all of it wasn't, it was kind of wiggly. And I just figured, whatever, it'd been wiggly the entire time. And, past weeks have been okay once I'd figured out how to do the audio and stuff. But I think we're good now. So that's really good. But, even though I had those gremlins going on, my block for month 3 for legit kits, the 4 blocks came together so beautifully. You're gonna see it up close and personal. Well, as close as I can get it. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I think this one came together quite possibly the best out of the 3 so far. Just all the pieces went together really nice. So that was like a nice little, the universe apologizing for all of the technical difficulties. I got a really good block out of it. So that was an okay trade-off, I suppose. Let me slide that back in there. Boop, boop. So yeah, so that was fun. That worked out really well. Let's see what else. So that was Sunday. So yeah, that wraps up the weekend. Then again, we had Tuesday was 4th of July. Woohoo! My boys had a blast giving the entire neighborhood a show of all of the fireworks that they had gotten. So that was a lot of fun. I spent the 4th upstairs in my bedroom with both dogs pressed against me on my bed, absolutely terrified by all the sound. I don't know. I'm of two minds of it. Like it's so much fun, and I love the celebration and stuff. But then I'm like, oh, the poor puppies. And then, oh, poor me, I get to sit inside with them. But it was hot outside anyway, so I could see some of them from my window, the ones that were closer to our green area in between the townhomes. But the ones that they were setting off, there's this baseball field, and they were setting them off. It was cool. And they got the adoration of all the neighborhood kids. And so that was fun, but I spent it with the puppies in the bedroom. And that was cool. It worked out well. So what do we got coming up for the rest of the week? So, more legit kits, and actually, keeping me to task, and helping keep her to task, Stephanie Stitches, which is always, in my description here. She invited me to come onto her channel on Saturday for her Saturday lives. And we're gonna sew up together our legit kits. I'm hoping that it'll be me finishing up the rows all together, and then she's gonna be working on her turtle. It's deep dive. The greens and purples in that are amazing. So she'll be working up that. So that'll be Saturday on her channel at 5 p.m. Eastern is when we start that off. So yeah, so hopefully finishing up the rows, at least the blocks, maybe not having put it all together, but I will also be working on the sailboat portion of Sail Away, so I can get all of that done, and I can start putting all of the rows together to get that quilt top complete. So excited about that. That'll be very, very cool. I don't know if you all know anything about, I don't know very much about the military, but I have a friend whose son is in the Marines, and they are doing the Crucible this evening. So starting tonight, we'll have a light on, or a candle, or like a flameless candle, or like a battery operated candle going for them running the Crucible, which is a pretty big deal towards graduating from boot camp with the Marines. So I will be doing that and thinking about them, and thinking about her son and all the other men and women that he's out there running. This does not sound any enjoyable in any shape or form, but thinking about them as they're doing it and hoping everybody is safe when they get through, and that it's successful for everybody. So that's pretty cool. What else we've got going on? So of course we'll have Sunday brunch. It's going to be regular Sunday brunch this Sunday, not the truncated, because we'll of legit kits. So Sunday brunch will be 11 to 1, again Eastern, and to do that as normal. I think that's probably it, and just regular work. Not having school anymore and having a summer vacation, like having the summer off, is really a damper. And I should really, not be so bummed out by it by now, considering how long I've been just a working adult. But it's still a shock to my system to realize, I don't get the whole summer off anymore. Oh well. Oh well. So I had watched, so there's a podcast called Smartless, and it's with Will Arnett, Sean Hayes, and Jason Bateman, and they had videotaped, had people follow them, and during the pandemic, well, as we were coming out of the pandemic, obviously, because they were in like huge, like they came to DC and played Constitution Hall and all this sort of stuff, but then they just released videos, the shows of them taping those, and I watched those, and that was a lot of fun. And so I started listening to the podcast. So now, in between watching Cold Case Files, the new Cold Case Files on Netflix, I'm listening to Shameless the podcast with those three. It's pretty cool. They've had let's see, they had Dax Shepard, who I loved. I don't know that I really knew anything about him before he was in the TV show Parenthood, but loved him in that, and so kind of followed him since then. Sorry, cats are playing and bumping the camera, so I apologize for that. And then Sean Hayes is incredible. He's from Will and Grace, was where I first knew anything about him, and then he's done a lot of Broadway stuff, which is awesome. And then Will Arnett is just funny. More than just, isn't he the ex Amy Poehler? I know they were together. Maybe they're still together? I don't remember. Hollywood couples, man, come and go. But anyway, the three of them are funny, and they've had oh wait, I went from Dax Shepard to talking about the guys that are doing Shameless. Lord. So I'm actually recording this at 11 o'clock at night. So if I'm a little all over the place, I apologize for that. But I'm recording really late tonight. I was working on the Rose. So yeah, Dax Shepard was really cool. I guess I should finish talking about the guys who are in the show. Jason Bateman, who, if you were my age, you would have known him from Silver Spoons, and then on through everything else he did. But they had Dax Shepard and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Melissa McCartney, who I like better than her cousin. Vice President, that before she had been announced. That was cool. Will Ferrell. Oh, he was one of the ones that was in the video. So anyway, it's cool. It's a cool podcast. I like listening to it. I like listening to, the three of them have known each other for a really long time. So I really like when, there's like a comfort level between the people that are on a show, and you can tell, and they have like inside jokes and they just bust on each other the entire time. I very much enjoy that. So I'm having a good time listening to that. As always, let me know what you guys are watching or listening to or reading. I haven't read anything in a long time or listened to a book on Audible in a long time. I think the last thing was the Sherlock Holmes, like the complete set of Sherlock Holmes. I think that was the last thing I listened to. Or Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty predictable about those things. But yeah, that's really all I've got for tonight. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go try to not move and stay as cool as possible And then I'll have this up first thing Thursday morning at 8 a.m. And I will see you all Saturday night on Stephanie's YouTube channel for Live with Stephanie, and we'll be stitching up our legit kits. So I look forward to seeing you then. Let me know if you have any questions or anything, as always, and I will see you soon. Thanks, everybody.